But there's another big-time free agent receiver, DeSean Jackson. He isn't having any trouble finding suitors. So the Patriots and Cowboys have inquired about the veteran wideout, according to the Washington Post. And other interested teams are the Bucs and the Eagles. Stephen A., if you're DeSean Jackson, would you consider Dallas? That seems like an interesting fit.
I would not even give them a consideration. A matter of fact, if DeSean Jackson even considers the Dallas Cowboy, I will go on national television and call him an absolute fool. First of all, why contaminate yourself? Why put yourself in an infectious disease category that is the Dallas Cowboys? You're destined to lose eventually. Why even do that to yourself? Don't do it. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, DeSean Jackson's got an ego. He can ball. He's an elite deep threat, and he could be put to better use in other places. The Dallas Cowboys want to run the football with Ezekiel Elliott. Des Bryant is going to be on one side of the field. You know he's going to want the football. Jason Witten, it's almost by addiction that you got to throw him the football 50% of the time. That's not going to spell well for DeSean Jackson. What you want to do is get yourself in a situation. You'd be desperately needed in Tampa. You'd be desperately needed in Philadelphia, along with a bevy of other players. You do not have to contaminate yourself by going to Big D. You've been with the Eagles. Now you're with the Redskins. Don't you dare go to the Dallas Cowboys, because as far as I'm concerned, you do that, you will have contaminated yourself into perpetuity. You will forever be stained, and you will never progress with your career moving forward. It will not happen. So he needs to stay away from the Cowboys. The culture, the environment is not suitable for DeSean Jackson. Let the Cowboys win with what they have, because if he goes there, it's going to mess him all up. He needs to go to the Patriots or go to the Eagles, someplace like that. He certainly does not need to go to the Dallas Cowboys.
I bring up Keynes' The Economist's great response when he was accused of flip-flopping with you sometimes, Stephen A. He said,
who?
When Keynes, you know, Keynesian economics? Yeah. He said, when the facts change, I change my opinion. What do you do, sir?
Oh, that's you.
The facts of the Cowboys have changed. Well, they still lost in the playoffs. That's true, barely, and they mounted a very impressive comeback in that game. Stephen Jones is now calling the shots, obviously, in terms of personnel. They have Dak, they have Zeke, they have a great offensive line, and they will eventually win another Super Bowl. Year after year, it's going to happen, and when they do, you're going to say, well, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Now, where does he best fit? Let's first look at the Cowboys. Does DeSean Jackson fit on the Cowboys? Actually, yes, he fits there.
But isn't this interesting, like the Giants, too, though? They already it's the same kind of thing. You wouldn't think they'd be addressing receiver.
Exactly. They should be addressing the defense. But the question is, does he fit on the Cowboys? Yes, he does, because they have a nice set of receivers, but they can use a real burner. Who can't? I love the idea of the Patriots. As soon as you hear the Patriots are kicking the tires on DeSean Jackson, figuring out what it would cost, what it would take, you think, maybe he's even better than we thought. Then you start to think that weapon on the Patriots, and you go, not fair. The best fit, I'd say Tampa. Opposite Mike Evans. Have an outside threat like that. Okay, I mentioned the best receivers in the games. I left off Evans. He's top 5 or 6, maybe better than that. You put a guy, a 50-50 ball type receiver with those kind of hands, you put DeSean Jackson, an outside threat, opposite that with Jameis Winston's arm, that might be the best fit of all. Tampa. Then I would say, just because it's the Patriots, but Dallas actually, it doesn't address their area of need, Molly, you're right. But it works.
He'd have a chance to win a championship if that matters. With the Patriots or Cowboys, the Bucs, they're coming up.
May I respond now that Max has thrown out his drivel? Talking about the Cowboys. First of all, my position is very, very consistent. They're an accident waiting to happen. When can go wrong, will go wrong. They will find a way to fall, and they have consistently done it, in my estimation, for the last 22 years and counting. I'm batting 1,000. I mean, they make me look like geniuses. This is what the Cowboys do. So I'm not worried about them talking about the facts change, so they change with it and all. Whatever. I don't even have time for it.
When the facts change, your opinion stays the same?
Excuse me. I don't believe the facts have changed when it comes to the Cowboys.
The
That's
quarterback
my point.
changed, the lines changed, the running backs changed, the GM has basically changed.
No. What I have said was, when they've had talent and when they haven't had talent, I don't care whether it's on the field or off the field. Listen, I'm the same guy when they were winning football games. I actually laughed and said, "Are you sure everyone's going to be eligible?" And a week later, Randy Gregory got suspended. This is what they do.
So what is it, Stephen A? You say the culture. Where does that come
keeps
from?
on giving. They're the gift that keeps on giving. It's just who they are as the Cowboys. Plain and simple. Now let me get to your point about Tampa versus New England.
Okay, go ahead.
New England is a better spot than Tampa. You know why? Because as great as New England is, with Tom Brady picking you apart, I would call him like the second coming of Kenny Stabler, but just even, iron's better, for crying out loud. Tom Brady is that special. Could you imagine him with a deep threat like DeSean Jackson? All DeSean Jackson has to do is run fly patterns, and it will open up the floodgates for Amendola and Edelman and Hogan and everybody else. I mean, my God. So when I look at it from that perspective, I'm saying to me, the New England Patriots, not just because of their resume, their history, their Super Bowl titles, their system itself and who they have at quarterback, I think DeSean Jackson would be significantly better off in New England than Tampa.
Right.
But certainly not the Cowboys. Absolutely not.
When you bring up the Cowboys and you say it's just who they are, it's what they do, you must be referring to Jerry Jones, because the cast of characters changes year after year, and you talk about 22 years now, and you're not wrong. They haven't won a lot of playoff games in that time and no Super Bowls. But what's that? 2 playoff games, right?
Yeah. His favorite stat.
But the cast of characters has changed, even in terms of who's making decisions. So are you saying it's just who they are? That's Jerry Jones and the culture that trickles down from him?
Well, that latter part, you don't just lump it all in. It's Jerry Jones, but it's also the culture. Because you see Stephen Jones and Charlotte and everybody else, they don't compromise the culture. The culture that is the Cowboys seems to invite trouble. Somehow, some way, they get in their own way. See, Dallas, let me tell you something that I've never said about Dallas. Do you realize, Max and Molly, that if there was any place in this country I could choose to live, it would be Dallas?
Yeah, because the taxes.
I love that city. I love no state income taxes, certainly, but there's Houston, there's Austin, Texas, which is a fabulous city, and one of my best friends in the world, Mark McKnight, my childhood buddy, lives in Austin, Texas. Oh, and Austin, Texas is special for a lot of other reasons. But the point that I'm trying to make is this. Dallas is a beautiful, beautiful city. Dallas is a beautiful city. The problem with listen, they don't have it.
What I hear, Tampa can be distracting as well.
And DeSean Jackson,
not even close.
That is a lie.
Not even close.
Don't make me
Tampa
go there.
ain't Dallas.